Hey guys, welcome back to the channel and welcome back to another build video in The Sims 4. So today I have an apartment renovation for you guys in the world of San Myshuno, and I'm renovating the 19 Culpepper house apartments. I was trying to remember if I've ever renovated this one before, and I don't feel like I have. It doesn't feel super familiar, but then a lot of these starter apartments kind of look the same with the same furniture, so I'm not sure. I don't think I've ever done this one before, but if I have, it's been a really long time. But today is a very exciting renovation because I'm actually renovating this for one of my Sims. Currently on my channel, I'm taking on the Zodiac Challenge, and we just made it to generation 5, which is the Gemini generation. And my Gemini Sim, his name is Castor. He is moving to the city, and so this of course is his apartment, and I'm renovating it for him and his twin brother, whose name is Pollux. I feel like I hardly ever call him Pollux, if I ever have since he was born, but they are currently teenagers and they are still in high school. So this apartment is meant to be for 2 teenage boys, and I'm not sure that it looks perfect in that regard because I have like plants and stuff for decoration because you guys know how much I love clutter, but in my mind I thought maybe their parents kind of helped them get moved in. Some of the furniture came from their parents, from their family, and then some of the other furniture came from them. They picked it out, like the inflatable living room furniture that you guys can see right now. I thought that was perfect. I thought that was kind of funny for them, very on theme for a teenager's apartment. Also, my Gemini Sim, Castor, he is a host. He's like a partier in his generation. He has a lot of social events, and so I wanted the apartment to kind of look like a place that was very lived in and very party friendly, if that makes sense. So I have a lot of music, I have a lot of stereos, which is actually kind of annoying for gameplay because they constantly turn them on. They never turn them off, and I forget they're on, and then my Sims won't sleep. Castor actually has a stereo in his room. Polly doesn't, so at least it doesn't bother Polly, but I think he's the one who keeps turning it on in Castor's room. So it's a little bit annoying, but it definitely adds to the party vibe. This apartment does have the needs TLC trait as well, so you guys can see the little mouse hole by my garbage can. I have to make sure that all those objects are functional, and I ended up covering up the second mouse hole. There's at least 2 in this apartment. I accidentally covered it up in Castor's bedroom, so I had to fix that today when I was playing the game. I haven't play tested this apartment fully because it's not totally finished yet. Before I upload it to the gallery, I will play test every single object and make sure everything is working exactly like it should, but so far I've not run into any issues other than that. I just had that little mouse spot closed off, and so we couldn't exterminate it because we couldn't access it. My Sim couldn't access it. I'm not really involved. I don't particularly like that lot challenge though. I mean, who does? It's a very annoying lot challenge, but I had to pick out an apartment that has that trait because that is part of the rules for the Gemini generation, so that's why we're here. Also, I know I just placed those kitchen curtains down completely off center. It took me a while to notice that, but I finally did notice it, and it's fixed now. I've actually had a few issues with those wanting to disappear every time I reload into the game, but I did put the little fruit bowl on top of the microwave. I got them a microwave specifically because in the previous generation, in the Taurus generation, which is of course where they grew up in that household, we couldn't eat any quick meals. Everything had to be cooked fresh, and we had to use organic ingredients that we grew. No, you didn't actually have to grow the organic ingredients. That's just what I did. That's a lie. But we did have to use fresh produce for everything that we cooked. So I figured by the time these kids moved out to their own apartment, they would 100% be getting a microwave, no questions asked. They want pizza, they want junk food, all of that good stuff. But I did put a bowl of fruit on top of it because their dad was a gardener. He's a celebrity chef. He loves to cook, and I figured he would have made sure to stock them up with some fresh produce and some baked goods as well. I put some food out on the counters. I actually go back and change the color of those cabinets as well. The overhead cabinets are yellow, which is kind of the color for the Gemini generation. You don't really have to go with a color theme, but I tend to do that just because it makes it easier for me to build. I like having a color theme, but Castor's color is yellow, so the apartment overall has this yellowish vibe. I don't particularly like building with yellow. If you guys have been around my channel, you've probably heard me say that 100 times, but the overhead cabinets were yellow and the bottom counters were brown, which I really liked that color. But once I came into the bathroom and I did those cabinets in green, green. I thought it would look so much better in the kitchen if I changed all the cabinets to green. And it does. I feel like it does. This is such a bright and cheerful, airy apartment. And of course, Gemini is an air sign, so that's what I was going for. I was going for something really light and fun. This bedroom is Castor's bedroom. So this is the main character kind of the Let's Play right now. He's a little bit neater than his brother. His brother is very messy, and they're meant to be very opposite, which is kind of where the green color comes in. That's more poly style. So it meshes well together. It works out perfectly. But when you see Polly's room, you'll see that it's a completely different color. It's green, it's messy, it's crowded. Castor's room is pretty crowded as well because I like to clutter when I build, but Polly's messy and Castor's not as messy. I gave him a desk and a computer, and that's the only computer so far in the apartment, but I am gonna have to go back and give Polly a computer as well because he wants to stay on this computer all the time. He's all the time coming into Castor's room and trying to use the computer along with everyone else in the entire world that walks into our apartment. I've done a couple of gameplay episodes before I'm filming the speed build, so I have had a chance to play in this apartment. So far, everything's working really well, but I did have to lock that laptop down because it was starting to get on my nerves how many people were coming in here to use the computer. I do need to get Polly one, but we're also going to be locking that up because the landlord or the mailman coming into the apartment and getting on the computer, that is an annoyance. That is not okay. But I gave Castor another little inflatable couch in here, and I also gave him the Herbert the Broken Heart plushie because his next trait is going to be non-committal. He is still a teenager, so right now he has two traits. He's outgoing and he's an insider. I don't really love his bed, but it was the best option I had as far as yellow beds go to match Castor and his style, but I don't think it's a perfect match. To be honest, I don't really like it that much. But this is Polly's room, and I gave him his seashells. Okay, when he was a kid, he would go out to the sandbox and play all the time autonomously. I wasn't sending him out there. He just really enjoyed the sandbox, and he would find all these shells, and I've had them in his inventory for so long, and I've never had anywhere to put them. So now that he has his own bedroom, he's got his shells there on his nightstand, and I think it's so cute. Him and Castor actually shared a bedroom growing up, and it was very small. So this is the first time they've really had a lot of space to have a personality and have their own stuff. I did give Polly the costume trunk from the Love Struck pack, not because he's super romantic, but because he's actually socially awkward. I forgot to tell you guys that. He's the opposite of Castor, so he's a loner and he's socially awkward. But I think he is gonna get a little romantic. I think we're gonna find him someone. The costume trunk is more about it looking like he hasn't unpacked though. That's kind of why I put that there. I wanted it to look like he was still living out of a suitcase. And I gave him this workout machine as well, but I think that's where I'm gonna end up putting a desk for him and another extra computer because he does like to work out and he also likes to run around without a shirt on, but he's not totally athletic. He doesn't seem super interested in the workout machine. And also I gave him a ton of music and stuff as well, and he doesn't seem super interested in that. So I might need to change up Polly's vibe a little bit. But out here on the balcony, I gave them a bubble blower thing just to add to the party vibe. Like, this is the place to come hang out. We're gonna be throwing a ton of house parties, and so I thought that was cute. We also have a little dining table and a grill out here, but as you guys can see, it's still very empty. We definitely need some more decorations to finish that off. And then there is a second bathroom as well that I wasn't able to furnish because I didn't want to spend too much money. I wanted to make sure that they had enough money to pay the bills because they currently do not have any jobs. So now that the speed build's over, I am going to jump into the game and give you guys a quick tour of the apartment. It's in this neighborhood right here, the Spice Market. It's one of the Culpepper apartments. I think I already mentioned that. I think this apartment is so pretty from the outside. I just really like the way it looks, but our hallway is not so pretty. It's very bland, very white, but there's not really much I can do about that as far as the wallpaper. I know you can use the tool mod to add some decorations out there. We might do that, but as far as the wallpaper, I don't think there's anything I can do to fix it. But when you come into the boys' apartment, this is what you see. Our kitchen is really nice. Our kitchen definitely doesn't give off teenage high school apartment vibes, but you know, technically this stuff would have already been here, like the cabinets and stuff. I got them a drink fountain because Castor is gonna have to host a lot of parties, so I felt like that would be handy. I don't know if we're ever actually gonna use that, but I had also thought about getting them a bar, and then I decided not to because I felt like that was irresponsible irresponsible of me to get them a bar because they're high schoolers and there's no adults living here. But we have some dog treats. I forgot to tell you guys, if you watch the series, you know that we just left a household. We had a family dog, so I got some dog treats in case he's ever over here, which I don't think he will be. I don't think he'll be visiting, but you know, just in case. It adds to the story. This little fuse box, I'm not sure if that's involved in the TLC situation, but I do have a plant in front of it, so if it is, then that may be a problem before long. Also, I have my little burglar alarm. And then we have our inflatable furniture in here. This stuff right here seems really out of place, but that's because it is. It's technically stuff that's been passed down throughout the generations, so it's not super relevant to Castor, especially the owl sculpture, but there is a reason it's here. It's part of the story. And then over here, this keyboard was originally in the apartment, so I decided to leave it here, but I think I may put Polly's desk here. I don't know if there's enough room though, because that's kind of a small space. But then I have a basketball jersey because the boys enjoy basketball. They actually used to live in a house that had a full-on basketball court because they grew up in a mansion and now they live here. It's really a downgrade, to be honest. This is the bathroom that's furnished right now. The other one is empty, but we have everything we need. And I also put in a cow plant movie poster. I thought this was funny because Castor and his father kept getting eaten alive by our cow plant in the last house, so I felt like that would just be kind of an inside joke. Maybe Polly got that for Castor, or maybe he's kind of teasing him by having it up there. I don't know. Here's our little leaky radiator pipes. So far in my gameplay, I've not had any issues with that. I'm not looking forward to having to deal with that. If it's just like mopping up a puddle, I don't mind that too much. Hopefully it's not something that we have to call the landlord about. But this is Polly's room. I kind of used the tool mod to knock this picture off center a little bit just to add to the messy vibe. I thought that was kind of cute. And then of course we have his shells and all his music stuff that he does not seem interested in at all. And then a ton of posters, and then we also have some of his childhood stuff as well. Then over here in Castor's room, I went with the clothing rack because he's really into fashion, so I didn't want to go with a traditional dresser. This is my other little mouse spot, and I realized that today when I was playing the game, so I have to kind of move this furniture around to make that functional, but it is now. I'm just on an old save file to do this tour. But we also have a little dog planter box for our dog. Like I mentioned, we have a little puppy dog back at home. He's not a puppy anymore. He's actually an elder. But there's his desk, the envy of all the neighborhood. They love his desk setup, his computer. And then this is the second bathroom, which is currently empty and dark, so we don't need to go in there. Then out on the balcony, we have our bubble blower, our beanbag chairs, and then a little dining table. Oh my goodness, the camera moves so fast out here. The dining table doesn't look as on theme as everything else because it's probably a little bit too nice, but at least it's funky. I didn't like the one that was here originally, so I like this one a lot better. But I think that's it for their apartment. I hope you guys like it. As soon as I'm able to completely get it furnished and decorated, I will get it uploaded to the gallery if you guys are interested. But let me know what you think about it down below in the comments because I always love hearing from you guys, and I will see you very soon with the beginning of the Gemini generation. But that is all for today, so bye guys.